is the founder and the CEO of Partners for Possibility. A very good morning to you, Louise, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, tell us more about Partners for Possibility organization. What do you focus on mainly?
So we all know that education is a crisis in this country, and there are many reasons, and apartheid, and there's a whole history. So what we need to do in this country is we need to find what are the assets and gifts that we have, rather than continue to focus on what's wrong and all the issues. So what we've done is we've identified business leaders as a South African asset. And we create the opportunity for these amazing people called business leaders to share their knowledge and skills with school principals in a co-action, co-learning leadership development program where the business leaders learn from the principals and the principals learn from the business leaders.
Okay, so those are the principals from their under-resourced schools.
From under-resourced schools, okay, who have the job to lead and manage large organizations with staff and IT and finance and HR, but they've often not been prepared for that task. So they were great maths teachers who were promoted to be a principal, and suddenly they have to lead and manage, but they don't know how to do that. But these business leaders, if they've been in any large organization for many years, they've been going to training and they've been supported and equipped for that task.
And at times they even have to deal with financial issues that they're not equipped to.
If you lead any kind of organizational unit, then you have to do the budgets, and but not only do you need to do it yourself, you have HR people that you can talk to, and finance people and IT. The principals are alone. If you're a principal in Alexandra or in Diepsloot, chances are that you have no one to turn to. So now we give a business leader with that business leader's team an opportunity to make a massive contribution to the principal, and we're doing that in 415 schools around the country.
Sure, it's quite a beautiful initiative, I must say. Now on to the good news, being selected as the finalist for this. So it must be quite an honor for you. I mean, you're among countries such as Canada, Mexico, France, and many, many more. And you were telling me off air that, it is always other countries coming to South Africa to give their knowledge and skills, but this time around, it's the other way around.
Yeah, so normally South Africa is the recipient of aid or the recipient of someone else's good ideas. If it works in the UK, then it must work in South Africa. This time, WISE went out. WISE is the World Innovation Summit for Education. They have an annual summit and they have regional summit. Huge organization. People call it the Davos for Education. They said, we are not going to fix this global education crisis by only turning to educationalists. We have to find ways of bringing industry and business into the equation. We have to tap into the knowledge and skills of business. But there are very few examples of this happening around the world. And so last year when I was at WISE, I kept hearing them talk about this need to cross the divide between business and industry, business and education. So when they went out and looked for examples, I think my understanding is that there were hundreds of projects that were submitted. We're one of the 15 projects from 13 countries and the only one from the African continent.
The only one from the African continent.
And we're very proud.
Okay, now, what do you call this? Partners for Possibility was created back in 2009.
Yeah.
And as I was reading, I actually recovered that you've been able to help quite a number of schools around from Cape to Limpopo. How has it been? How has the journey been? Was it an easy road or?
No, not. I mean, anybody who's in this kind of social change world where it's not just charity, it's not traditional aid, this is a social enterprise. So we run as a business, but we can't generate money like a business. We have to find a creative social issue, like we've chosen education, and then find creative ways to fund it. And our creative way is to turn this into a leadership development program. But it's not been an easy journey, and people don't understand the space. Having said that, we're now in 415 schools, and the number is, business leaders from around the country are showing up and saying, I have knowledge and skills and I've been yearning to make a difference. But what we typically do is we say to these amazing business leaders, come and be helpful, come and paint a classroom in Diepsloot. And they have so many different skills. We shouldn't ask them to paint a classroom. We should ask them to bring their knowledge, their management and leadership skills. And so this is what's happening. And we have large organizations who have committed the organization and are inviting and challenging every business unit in that organization to get involved. And so, Exaro has got involved in Lepelale. We have a group of farmers in Letsetele. We have the KZN Growth Coalition in Durban saying, we, the citizens of Durban, are going to reclaim responsibility for the children in Durban. And we're going to mobilize 250 business leaders around 250 schools. And we're not going to sit back and moan and complain and say to Education Department, you have to do it on your own, because they can't. This is our children and our future, and we all have to be involved. So suddenly it's happening. People are showing up and joining us.
It's working out. Well, good luck. And when will the awards be held?
The announcement will be made in September, and then the award ceremony will be at one of the upcoming regional or WISE summits that will be held.
Well, good luck for that, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
There you have it. That's Louise van Rhyn. She's the founder and the CEO of Partners for Possibility, talking to us about the organization being selected as the finalist for this prestigious awards coming your way in September, like she was telling us. Well.